It's a brand new session of Poker Time, Grant. That's 4 episodes upcoming. This is the first. We have... is everyone a veteran at this point? I think everyone's playing on Poker Time at this point.
Yeah, there's Sam right there on the left. He's only played once and not for a full session before.
Yep. Of course, we have Wheel and Stuart. They're calling him Stewie Younger. His name is Stuart Young, so it makes some sense. Stewie Younger.
Stuart, by the way, gonna try to wash that nitty image off right away by opening the Jack-10 off under the gun.
Yeah, Stewie Younger. He really is living up to that nickname.
Okay, sure. Speaking of nitty images, here comes Wonka with the call.
He's got 2 cards.
That's a good amount of cards.
Whatever they are, we can guess it's like a king-queen suited type hand, right? Ace-jack suited.
And we just saw Joe, VPip Joe over there, folding the first hand. Is everything okay?
VPip Joe is a great name, and we should be calling him that. Wonka calling with the ace-nine of diamonds. It's the first hand, everyone's playing whatever way they plan to play, not the way they're actually going to play.
Well, Stuart could win this hand, but it's going to be hard.
It's going to take 2 barrels at least, probably 3.
Wonka wearing military fatigues because he's a strange person.
Is that a flag? What's the flag of there?
Looks like a German
Belgian?
flag or Belgian, one of those two.
Yeah. Will Stuart continue to take shots here or not?
It's not a great board for it.
I mean, if Stuart had ace-king or ace-queen, he'd probably continue, right?
Probably, but maybe not ace-jack.
Yeah.
And Wonka has sets in his range.
Probably thinks Wonka's folding a lot of like medium pocket pairs or has sets with them, as you're saying. So Wonka just giving Stuart all the rope.
I mean, he's just playing pot control. It's pretty simple. Stuart makes a pair, so probably not going to be bluffing at this point, just hoping Wonka has 2 8s or something like that.
Got to think Wonka is going to go for value here and probably going to get some.
Probably small bet, you'd think.
Yeah.
65, 70. Try to get called by a worse hand.
Stuart really is only bluff catching, but he does have a bluff catcher now. He didn't even have that.
But what does Wonka have? He has
4, 6.
He's turning,
why
he's
would
turning
he
a
turn
6
that
into a bluff.
He doesn't need to do that in theory.
I think this
right?
is a fold.
I agree.
Wonka pretty much always has an ace.
Yep.
Or a set.
Stuart has made a lot of nittier folds in the past on this show. I believe he's gonna find a fold here.
And I think it would be correct to do so.
Yeah. And he does.
Nicely done.
Yep. Stuart.
That's why they call him Stewie Younger.
4 minutes.
You have a lot of time cards,
Yeah.
Stuart.
I was like, man,
I expect you
Stuart
to
ain't got
use
time
those.
out.
I expect you to use those time cards.
Of course, you can see everyone has those time cards. Those are 30 seconds time extensions. Everyone gets 4 of those. Everyone also only gets 30 seconds to act every time it's their decision. So, we got a shot clock.
That's exactly.
It's innovative. It's forward-thinking. It's futurism.
It's futurism.
It's futurism.
We're like Isaac Asimov over here.
At one point.
What? What are you referring to?
Here's Jeremy. You may remember him from our last series of episodes. We kept referring to him lovingly as the serial killer.
Well, he's not wearing his Batiste denim outfit, so he does not look like a serial killer anymore.
He really doesn't.
Which is sad because
no, it was a lot of humor.
It was more fun.
We mined a lot of jokes out of that one. Joseph opening it up in +1. Up is down and black is white. Dogs and cats are living together.
Come on, that's not the case. Joseph does random stuff all the time.
He normally doesn't open a suited 2-gapper +1.
But sometimes he does because he just
pretty rarely.
Joseph is a guy who's gonna do some random stuff pre-flop, and that's just the way of life.
Well, the young one makes the call. Stewie Younger.
He's also actually young, so that it all works.
Also, his last name is Young. It's amazing. He does have a gut shot, but I'd be surprised if he continues.
Yeah, I think he'll just fold.
No clubs on this board.
There are good gut shots and there are bad gut shots, and that's a bad gut shot.
Yeah.
But he said he hadn't seen the folds. He said he hadn't seen your laydown.
6-8 deuce is a good gut shot. You got 2 overs with the gut shot. You can rep it. You can rep it a lot better from your position if you decide to check raise.
Sure.
The king jack deuce, not such a good gut shot.
Jack 7-7's a pretty good gut shot, actually.
Yeah, you can rep the 7.
Yep, you can have the 7. The jack is probably
although it would not have worked that
card.
time, as Joseph would have flopped trip 7s if that were the case.
It might have worked. You don't know. Joseph's made some big laydowns.
I mean, turn comes a jack, and Stuart's like, well, I guess I got to rep that I check raise top pair. Then maybe Joseph decides to fold. Who knows?
Joseph's like, best I'm doing is chop it anyway. Got to throw it away. Anyway. Wonka wearing that German military fatigue.
You know, I just
Showing us-
I just mentioned that, right?
I do know that.
You said it as if
I was going forward with the joke and you cut me off, so that's good. No one wants to hear the funny stuff. No one's here for the humor.
Well, I want to hear what Wheel does with kings.
Hey, Wheel makes a small raise to only 30.
By the way, Zach is maybe new. I mean, I
I
think
think Zach's played once before long
yeah,
ago.
he played for about an hour. I think he didn't play. I don't think he played any hands. So
Yeah.
this is him.
Here's
now.
a hand.
By the way, Wheel raising way too small with
Way
kings,
too
with the
small.
limp in front of him.
Huge no. And gut shot for Zach.
And
Flush draw for Jeremy.
yeah, I think Wheel's gonna lose this hand a lot of the time.
He at least is on the button. He's going to continue. He may fold out Zach here once Jeremy calls.
Oh, I think Zach will fold certainly, and Jeremy might raise. By the way, calling is more standard.
Calling's pretty standard. There's the call. Coming up all sorts of things down the line, including just your basic ace.
Just your basic ace, like ace 9 is your basic ace.
Ace 7.
Ace 9 is a premium ace.
Ace 9 is upper class ace. Hey,
That's the
flush.
worst card in the deck for Wheel.
I disagree.
Okay, I disagree as well with myself.
He actually should be glad to see a second ace. up
Okay,
there.
but not happy about
the club is not
the
good.
club. Yeah.
Second club though. Second ace is
All right,
good.
like the jack
gonna
of
bet.
clubs or the 7 of clubs would have probably been the worst card.
Yep.
And Wheel's gonna bet again. Wow. I don't know. I guess he's trying to get heroed by a 10, but I think a 10 folds now.
I think so too. This is a very strange bet. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to bet small so he can just check back the river. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get to a super cheap showdown. This is a blocking bet for the river.
Well, Jeremy should absolutely be raising here. Wheel has a lot of trip aces in his range.
Yeah. Like, do we really think if Wheel has 10s full of aces or aces full of 10s, he's going to bet only 80?
If he is, so be it. But Jeremy decides to take the low variance route here.
Yeah.
Getting 3-bet would be a kind of a disaster with the queen high flush here.
Yep. And the truth is, hard to get action now from
Yeah.
Wheel's exact hand. If Wheel had the king of clubs in his hand, he'd be very happy. Wheel's going to do the whole, maybe I will bet. Maybe I won't bet. What did I have again? Okay.
Easy check.
I always lose, right? Right.
Unless Jeremy has holding on Jack 10 of diamonds type hand, yeah, Wheel loses.
Once that river comes out, it's just hard to imagine. Even the turn, really. I guess Jeremy could have a Jack 10, but he called the turn.
That all could have been avoided if Wheel just made it 50 pre-flop over the limp. Jeremy would have very likely folded the queen 3.
Probably folds.
That's what I thought it was too.
A big part of poker that people maybe don't think about that much is isolation pre-flop with good hands. And the reason to raise kings there is not only to get value, right? It's also to isolate.
Well, yeah. Kings play really well against one or two opponents and really one opponent. Like,
Right.
they want to play against one opponent mostly.
And 30 is not an effective isolation bet there.
No. I mean, Jeremy's calling with anything he's calling a raise with because that's a normal raise. And
Yeah.
when you have the limper, you actually have an excuse
Yeah,
to
you
make
can
it bigger.
you can make it 55, 60 if you
Yeah.
want. I mean, like,
I mean, you can make it 40 also. And I don't know if Jeremy's calling. Probably calling.
I don't know.
Probably.
It
But
becomes-
30, he's always calling,
Yeah.
right? And that's that $10 or $15 really might make the difference between winning a pot and losing the pot there.
All right, looks like Zach is a limpy guy. And it looks like the players are attacking that a little bit. I guess Wheel didn't really attack it. He had kings.
We can call him
But-
Hop Along Zach because he limps so much. Hop Along. Is that good?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe. It might be good. Anyway, Zach calls.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stick.
I don't think so either. It doesn't feel
Nah.
quite like a good one, you know?
No. They don't all. Hey, there's a jack right in the window for Sam.
Imagine Sam will just bet and win here.
He's definitely betting. I don't know.
Zach looks
like
a little
he's-
suspicious.
Well, he's thinking of hands he can beat. There's a lot of hands that Sam can have here. Well, a lot. Meaning
It's just
like
going to
all
be
the ace kings, ace queens.
If Sam decides to keep betting, you can just. It's going to be tough to continue. I guess you can hero all the way down with the bottomest of bottom pairs.
you can.
Almost got there.
That's I mean, if you didn't believe Sam on the flop, that's a pretty good card for
Yeah.
you on the turn. You're beating king, queen, ace, king. Sam checks it back.
The 10 is a bad card for Sam. He's
Yep.
probably a little scared of that.
But when Zach checks, now Sam's thinking, what do I beat? Like, that can call.
Right.
Like
so
a
you,
better. I mean, there aren't any worse jacks, right? It's all better.
He's
jacks.
going to try to get called by a 6, I guess. Maybe pocket 8s.
2 8s, yeah. And he
And
does
it-
get
wow,
called
it
by
gets
deuces.
called by deuces.
He turns his hand over. Look at Sam. Looks like he's not totally sure if he's good.
Of course. Why would you be sure?
He does get, though, the extra value. Squeezes it out.
Wow, that was very hero-y from Zach.
Yes. Well, the check back on the turn, I think, gets Sam paid a little bit more.
Maybe we should call him Super Zach because he wants to be a hero.
I mean, that's just one hand.
Yeah, but that was a pretty serious hero call.
I mean, sure. But the line that Sam took is a little bit weird, right?
No.
Really?
I think a lot of players are going check, bet on boards like that.
Why wouldn't they just bet the turn with all their pretty good hands?
Because sometimes you want to keep hands around, and sometimes you want to induce
I mean,
bluffs.
it's a dry board.
Not that dry.
I mean, straight dry.
Yeah. I don't think it's
I think generally you should be betting top pair on the turn there. But anyway,
I don't think it's super unusual to check.
I think you're losing value. Anyway, here's Mr. Younger. There's your raise to 50. He's learned the lesson. Jeremy's not going to fold this one.
Zach, by the way, limped again.
Yep. He's moved up in the world from deuces to trays. He's like the Jeffersons.
I think you've used that joke on Poker Time 6 to 7 times.
Well, it's been like a year and a half. So what? So
Come up with some new material.
Every 3 months I use a joke. You're welcome, America. Is that good? World, internet. I don't know who's listening. Best hand for Jeremy, and he may just know it.
Nobody loves the flop.
Yeah, Stuart probably not going to bet this too often. Does not have a club in his hand. Jeremy probably going to bet for protection.
Once it checks to him, yeah, he's mostly just worried about Zach at this point.
Yep. I guess Stuart can have an 8.
Is Zach going to stay real sticky with under pairs to the board? This is a little bit of a different scenario. Jeremy is not the pre-flop raiser.
Yeah, but it was checked to Jeremy also.
He's also betting into 2 players.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more of a mistake, in my opinion, than the deuces call on the flop.
Looks like Zach is not going to
he's
call.
raising.
Look at that.
Okay, so he's repping 4s, basically. He's like, I have 3s, but I might as well have 4s. He makes it 400.
Wow. Well,
Holy bananas.
this banana is
Wait,
going to...
no, it looks like that was an incorrect.
200.
That
Even
makes-
so, it's a pretty powerful raise. I don't think Jeremy can necessarily stick around. He blocks the draws, which you can't like.
Can't like that. It's possible he's played with Zach and he knows he's up to something.
Oh.
Because it looks like that's a call.
How about that? Interesting. Maybe Jeremy thinks he's betting a lot there when it checks to him, and so he's got to call with a pair.
I don't know.
I don't
it's
know.
very ambitious. And
He's
there's
gonna
another
get to see-
club.
Well, and when Zach checks there, that's got to be music to Jeremy's eyes.
Yeah, music to the eyes. Now, Jeremy... I mean, Zach could play a set exactly like this, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, one of the worst cards for a set comes in on the turn.
And is Zach just giving up here or not is the question. Because a big bet here will win it.
Yeah.
No, he gives up, and Jeremy's going to be very excited to see that he wins.
I am surprised that he called with the 7s. I'm also surprised that Zach raised with the 3s.
Yep.
It was all very surprising to me.
Jeremy got actually a pretty great card on the turn for him when Zach checks it, because that means he's often up against like 2 pair or a set, and he
Yeah,
takes
then
up
he
all
has,
the draws.
He
on
has
the
some
turn.
equity against those hands then, yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just the 2 outs, he has,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
A solid 14.
I know there was a hand last night. There was a night that was like mellow version of him. Most of the time, there's more stuff going on with like all this. And there was a dealer that was anyway.
I'm really curious as to who Joseph is talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody who drinks.
So that's the only reason I stayed quiet. But you were right on that one. One of his better games was he was here on his birthday.
Wheels turn with the small pocket pair here.
Wheel's not going to limp it. Wheel is like Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. He doesn't want to stop the wheel. He wants to break the wheel. He's got a lot of self-hatred.
Yeah, I mean that's.
that joke could have been so much better if I said someone else, one of his opponents was like Khaleesi, right? Because they want to break the wheel. But I just couldn't help myself. I just couldn't wait.
The joke just makes me sad because Game of Thrones ended so terribly.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is bad.
At least it's nominated for like every Emmy in the world anyway. Like we're all pretending it's good apparently. All the Emmy people. Way to go.
Wheel's
That's
gonna bet
really
on
cool.
this board. Wow, this is a bad board for 2 deuces without a heart. I mean, even
It is a
with-
terrible board. Maybe he's deciding he doesn't. He's just going to take one shot, see if he can get any folds. Obviously, Joseph's not going to fold top pair for $60. Joseph does make some tight folds, but I can't imagine.
I mean, it's
Oh, no!
it's gonna
It
work.
cannot be.
It might
It
be.
cannot be.
Checking for the heart.
Put that chip back on those cards. Put that chip back on those cards.
How dare you,
Okay.
Joseph? Okay.
All right. You cannot fold top pair for one bet. Phew.
It does look.
afraid.
It does look relatively strong for wheel to bet on that board into two opponents, but still,
It does.
a jack is too strong to fold.
Yep. Hey.
And now it's going to be a lot easier for Joseph to keep going.
Wheel checks. Oh, no, he doesn't. I thought he said check. Wheel is reaching for more because Wheel likes to follow up. Bet's really small, though. Only 80.
What
This
is
super
what's,
easy?
What's
Oh,
he trying to do?
Is Joseph going for a raise?
He is.
Weird.
This is exploitative stuff right here. He's putting wheel on something better than he has, but something
Yeah.
marginal based on sizing.
I think he's putting Wheel on like a scared over pair, which he's now
Right, and he
beating.
wants to charge the single heart hands.
Yep.
Which is it's a fair thought process, I think, if wheel's sizing is in fact readable, which in the past we've seen wheel use different sizing in different scenarios. It's not as readable as you might think.
Yeah, sometimes Wheel goes big with these kinds of hands too in these spots. Wheel very unhappy with this outcome though.
Yeah, this wasn't the goal.
Thing I like about this is Joseph might play the ace of hearts like this.
He might.
Close enough.
100%. Like if it's another heart, I'm just folding. You know. Diamond. It depends which diamond. Blackjack. I gotta raise it.
Would have been interesting to see that play out had wheel made it more like 180 than 80.
Yeah.
What would have Joseph done there?
Probably just call then, right?
80 to 225. This in the middle. Super valuation.
Looks like Joseph's talking about that sizing right there. 82.25. You know, our dealer looks like maybe it could be a hand model.
That was maybe the creepiest thing ever said on Poker Time. And Snuggy played on Poker Time.
I just was noticing the hands. I was like, it's weird that we have such a long shot of the dealer's hands and nothing. We didn't say anything. Nothing was going
Well-
on. So I had to fill that space.
She knows you, and she'll hear that, and we'll see how that goes.
She's gonna be totally happy that I said that.
Apparently.
In fairness, I think there's many folks who'd be candidates to be hand models at this table.
I mean, yeah. Look how Joe's
at Joe.
modeling
Look at
that watch. He's modeling that watch
I
quite
mean,
well.
honestly, he is. Honestly, he's got the hand perfectly. We'll get back to that shot. Wonka flops top pair. Joe's got a whole lot of back doors. I mean, really,
A whole lot of beautiful hand is what Joe has.
the cuticles are perfect.
Immaculate.
Wonka, not a hand
Wonka does
model.
not have hand model hands.
Don't worry about it, Wonka. Not everyone can.
Maybe you could model hands for like a caveman.
No, Wonka's like the beforehand.
Before and after Wonka and Joe, before this special hand surgery.
I mean, yeah.
Wonka takes a lot of shit on this show, man.
He's a goofy guy, that Wonka.
He didn't deserve that one, though.
I mean, we're just assessing hands. That's all that's going on. And
Is that what hand analysis means?
breaking down hands. That's what we do on the Poker Guys. And fair enough, Joe's got him coming and going. That's just the truth. What do you think about Wheel? Wheel's hands.
I'm not gonna entertain this discussion any further.
Come on, say something about Wheel's hands.
I refuse to do so.
All right. I'll say this. Those hands are not walking the catwalk at New York Fashion Week.
Okay, Jeremy has aces. This is the weirdest poker show. This is the weirdest poker show in existence.
It feels great to be part of it.
Yeah.
Joe is going to call with the 7-4 suited, and that's going to... Sam was going to call anyway, but
Yeah,
it makes it
I'm
even
pretty
easier
sure.
for Sam to call there.
Jeremy's in great shape here against these two hands.
And still is in great shape against
Doesn't
these
love the
hands.
paired board, but it's fine.
It's a gut shot for Sam.
Sam could choose to check raise this board.
I would expect Jeremy to continue here a lot.
Yeah, you get value from a jack. He does check, though. Tricky.
He's thinking this is not a board I would normally bet, and I will not bet it.
Kind of a good card for Jeremy in a lot of ways. in that his opponents can have hit kings. Queen 10 gets there, but that's not a huge concern.
Queen 10 probably would have bet. A king probably would have bet. Jack might still be checking, and it's time to try and get value from a jack. But that's not going to happen. Hands fold quickly, and onward we go.
If 20's not big enough, go 24, they'll go 36, go 48. You know, 81.
Did you say honorably?
Onward we go.
Oh,
What did you think I said?
honorably go.
Oh, that's good, too. Those hands honorably go. I like that.
Yeah.
Much like a samurai back in the days, when they kill themselves after their leader dies. Is that?
No, it's just after any sort of failure.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Any sort of perceived,
Zero tolerance policy.
Any sort of perceived failure.
It's like I ordered the steak medium rare, and I know I said medium rare, but then I changed it. Maybe you didn't hear to medium well. Maybe you didn't hear that, and then just medium. I know it was a really confusing order, but really I did want it medium rare, and the samurai has to kill themselves now. Samurai waiter has to kill himself. That's brutal.
Samurais, by definition, are not waiters. They're warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors.
But do you think they don't ever bring, like, tea out?
No, that is not the samurai.
Because you're like, this tea is a little hot. It's a little too hot for me. My tongue almost got burned. And they have to, like, go commit harikari.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
just asking questions.
I'm
here.
pretty sure that's how it is. Anyway, Jeremy with a nice looking hand, but that is a bad looking flop.
Yeah. Jeremy probably going to continue, though, on this bad-looking flop.
Yeah,
He does have the two back doors.
kind of have to.
And it's his board. And by that, I mean, of course, the ace-high nature of it is better for his range than Wheel's. Wheel, of course, has it this time. He's going to call.
I like Jeremy's sizing. He goes small there. It's a pretty polarizing board.
And now all Jeremy can beat is 2 hearts. So he could decide to bet again to try and charge the hearts, but otherwise it's give up time, I think.
Yeah,
He does.
reasonable to give up.
Queen or jack might cost him a little bit of money, but not the king of hearts. That's the easiest card in the world for Jeremy to
I don't know.
no.
I don't think Wheel should bet. Good check.
I like that check.
Yeah, I mean, he's chopping with all the aces now, and you got to give Jeremy a chance to bluff.
Jeremy's never going to bluff this board, but I understand why he checked it, right? Jeremy understands that it's a 6, it's hearts, or it's an ace. None of those things are folding to a bet. But Jeremy, oh yeah, he thought about it. You see that?
Yeah. He's like, well, I can't win, but I guess
like-
I shouldn't try.
He's like, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Yep, even that hand was not going to fold.
Glad I thought better of it.
Oh, yeah,
You
sorry.
want
I meant to do that earlier, too. Yeah, thank you for the reminder.
I was reaching for chips, and then I just changed my mind.
Good job.
I think that's a pretty tough board to bluff on when the heart gets there and all aces now chop unless they're against ace king or ace 6.
Yeah.
They feel pretty confident in their ability to call.
Even a low heart, you could decide to try and get a bad ace off it, but that's all you can even beat. Like get to fold one, I should say, not beat. Of
Bad
course.
ace? Bad
Yeah.
ace doesn't matter on that board.
I'm saying a low heart.
Oh,
not
if
instead
low
of the
heart
king
came.
of heart. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Probably wouldn't guess who the first.
If it's like the 4 of hearts on the river or something.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe then you try.
Even then, though, it's not a huge part of the range you're folding out.
Right.
And they may just hero you anyway.
No, then,
No.
and the way you're phrasing the question, you
Yeah.
said I probably wouldn't guess.
Yeah.
You know, now with a new name.
All right, is Zach going to limp the
Yes.
ace 4?
Yes, he is. Limp
Yeah.
it. Yes. It's like Devo's here, but instead of saying whip it, it's limp it.
And then Joe's got the queen 8. I think we should change his name from VPIP Joe to Broadway Joe after we saw those hands. Because Joe Namath also had amazing hands, of course.
Oh, when you said hands, I forgot. I thought we were talking about poker hands and not
No, we're
poker
talking about
hands. You know what I'm
we're
saying?
talking about hands.
Yeah, those. It's not just the hand, and this is the thing. Nice flop for Joe. All right, we'll do this hand, and then we'll get back to the
Hands.
hand analysis.
Nobody flops anything though besides Joe, so he's probably not going to get much action.
And there's also only $40 in this pot, which sort of sucks for him. He
bets
bets
10.
as little as possible.
Well, this might induce something. It looks like Wheel is feeling a little bit like Joe's messing around, which is not an unreasonable thought.
I mean, Wheel deciding to rep here is a good idea. He's going to
Yeah.
have a lot of 8s. He just is running into it this one time. I actually like this play by Wheel. But
think-
man, this is not going to work.
Joe could raise or call. He beats most 8s
He should just.
that limped out of the small blind. But yeah, calling is better, I think.
Why do you want to do anything? Why do you want to scare away your customer here? And once in a while, when we're beat, we're never getting a fold. When we're ahead,
No, what I'm thinking is when you're ahead, you do get a reasonable amount of calls against the small blind limping range. You beat most eights.
Right, you do. But every time the small blind's bluffing, like we just get to get 3 streets this way anyway, right?
Yeah, no, I think calling is better. I just think it's interesting to explore non-conventional options in spots like this where you're very likely to have the best 8 if your opponent has an 8.
So I'm really rooting for a call here for because wheel can have. I guess there aren't too many deuce 8s available. There's only one deuce 8 suited.
Well, he might not have to be suited. It was a limp pot.
I know,
He
but
might,
he's in a
he
small
might just
blind.
limp any 2 cards in that spot. We don't know.
Oh, it's a 5-5 game. Oh no, it isn't. It's a 5-10 game. Excuse me.
It's been a 5-10 game for over a year. Good job.
So it's a 5-10 game. As I said, Jack on the river. So now there's a bunch of 8s that are beating you and a bunch of extra 8s that are beating you.
Well, sure. I'm not thinking that that Joe should raise at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't think he should have raised earlier. I just think
Especially
sometimes maybe it's okay against certain opponents.
Yeah, I think being in position, it's nice too to be the caller here.
Looks like Wheel is really going to go
This
for
is
it.
great for Joe. He's just getting free money. I don't really know why Wheel is still betting. I guess because he bet so small on the turn.
Maybe he thinks Joe has a deuce and is just hanging on.
Because it was only 80. Now though, he's probably going to successfully fold out a deuce. And if I don't know how Joe could ever have a 5. Some medium pocket pair you could probably fold out also with this bet. So this bet is not horrible.
It's just not going to work this time.
I just don't know that Joe's even calling the check raise without like a pretty good hand.
Oh, Joe's using a time card on this one.
All right.
Is he considering a raise?
I mean, you can't really be considering a fold, right? You just can't. This hand's just too good.
It looks like a raise.
It is a raise.
That is
wow.
ambitious.
Now you need to get called by
8-9?
10-8.
8-9.
10-8 is the best possible hand you hope to get called by.
I mean, 6-8.
Right. No, there are other 8s. I'm saying, but 10-8 is literally the best possible hand he can
Oh,
have.
yeah.
That you know, that's the top of
Well,
the calling range, you hope.
Joe gets the same value he would have anyway, I suppose.
Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever heard all of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
Perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Not only is that ad amazing, but maybe we can get some of our like surprisingly impressive hands from this show into the next Nitrogen ad. You know, like you want great poker hands, we'll show you some great poker hands, something like that.
This is a super non-creepy line of jokes that we're doing.
Well, not about Wonka's hands. Nothing creepy about what we're saying about that, right?
Just rude. That's all.
I mean,
Raise to 35.
feels like I can't win with you.
I mean, yeah.
Stewie Younger thinking about the raise, but throwing it away, and Jeremy's gonna defend his really crappy ace.
Yeah. Mandatory.
4 clubs would just be a sick
It
cooler.
would be amazing.
Not
Well,
this
there's
time.
a king for Sam. You could check back on this board. There's not a ton to protect against.
No, but you can get value from a lot of things here.
Just queens and sixes, you mean?
Queen,
I assume.
sixes, and draws.
Yeah. Jack 10 specifically. Probably the
Ace
only.
10, Jack 10, Ace Jack.
Some of those might be 3 bets some of the time out of the big blind.
Maybe. But Jeremy's going to call a lot, I think, with those hands, too.
Yeah. I just think there's, different ways to play hands. Sometimes you can check that back.
Mm-hmm. That's
Especially
the kind
with-
of board, though, you're usually going to bet, right? And
Well,
like, so-
especially, yeah, but that doesn't always matter that much, especially with such a bad king. You know,
Mhm.
like you can't get value from kings.
No, that's true. But kings are going to get value from you if you check it back anyway, right?
But maybe they'll get more value from you if you bet.
Why? Why would they get more value? You get to determine the size here. You don't have to bet big.
Because of the amount of streets that are bet.
Right. You're in position. You can control the amount of...
Okay,
It's-
fine. I'm just saying there's less to get value from when you have a weak king than a strong king.
Sure, of course. Of course. I'm not saying you should never check a
think-
weak king.
And I think a queen is more likely to call turn and river than flop and turn.
Okay, but what about flop and river?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like turn and river is the easiest way to get called by marginal hands in my experience.
That does make sense. But by the time you bet the river, it's like all those marginal hands are like, why are you betting again? What's happening here? Jeremy with the real hand.
Raised to 120.
All right, so Zach limped and Joseph's giving Jeremy the old stare down.
Well, he could 4-bet, but there's no need to.
No. Zach is not going to do anything here, and I doubt Wheel will either.
No, he has a terrible hand.
Turn into a bluff.
Wow.
Whoa.
He's calling.
He's in position.
Very much do not like this call.
He is at least in position, and he is not going to outflop Jeremy. That is a nice flop for Jeremy.
What are you really hoping for with ace-7 offsuit?
An ace would be good. 2 sevens would be good. 3 diamonds would be good. A straight draw would be nice.
So you
like
you like
6, 5, 6, 8.
Do you like the call?
I think when I just outline all of those things, I'm starting to love it, Grant.
Okay.
And there goes. Yeah, that's $90 you're never going to see back, buddy.
Yep.
I was, as Grant likes to say, ambitious, that call.
A little ambitious.
I joke about all these things, but that was ambitious. Jeremy's just crushing Wheel so far, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say it like that
Why not?
because I don't like to affect that particular accent.
Okay, well, why don't you give us the accent you would like to affect and say the same thing, please? Go.
I don't feel like doing an accent. I'm not doing an accent.
All right. Just do like an
I feel
Irish
like I can
accent.
only get in trouble.
Do an Irish accent.
No.
You won't get in trouble if you do an Irish accent.
No, because it'll come out Jamaican and then I will get in trouble.
Well, that would be a problem.
Is that where Elizabeth Warren
Yeah.
brought out the
Do an Irish accent.
like the college loan relief plan or
I
whatever?
think so.
Is that where
he
it
brought
came
out?
out?
They're talking politics at a poker table.
That is a huge mistake.
I don't recommend this at any poker table anywhere.
Religion, politics, and sex. Do not talk about it at the poker
Sex
table.
is fine. Go for the sex.
Says the creepy hand guy.
So Zach's limping the ace queen and Sam's raising the jack 10. I understand why this is happening. Well, why Sam's raising, I should say. Zach is not 3-betting, right? Because that would be super cool.
There's an extra from Blade Runner in the background.
No, he's from The Matrix Part 2. He's one of the ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
That's Mike. The ghost.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, in my opinion, kind of an overrated movie, I got to tell you.
Which one?
Both? Ouch.
You're going to get a lot of comments on that one.
Bring it on.
Some people are in love with that
I
shit.
know. I like my science fiction, just not super boring. All right, here we are. Great flop for Zach.
Wonderful flop.
Sam gets a piece.
Sam has a hand where he might not continue.
I would expect him to continue, but Zach is going to bet.
This is kind of weird for Sam now with wheel behind.
Yep. And he
And
just lets it
fold.
go.
I think that's probably a conservative but correct decision.
Zach really made a mistake there, not checking to Sam and giving him a shot to fire.
You see back there, L.A., one of our players from other episodes, is breaking the fourth wall and talking to the extra from Blade Runner.
Smart. Hey, so Zach and Joe have not raised once. And I guess there haven't been that many hands.
Yeah,
though.
to be fair, we don't have much data
we
right
have
now.
Yeah. We play like 16 hands or something, right?
I would
There's our
assume
V-pips.
less than 16.
Zach has played 41% of hands.
Jeremy's played 50.
No, he just got yelled at for talking to you.
Joe's not even close to 70 right now.
V-pip Joe, more like ski lift Joe.
Ski lift Joe.
Because he needs help getting that number up there.
Yeah.
Can't do it on his own anymore. Oh, that's weird. Now that's the weird one. Sounds like we're in erectile dysfunction commercial.
Well, now you just need to slow it down, buddy.
It's Poker Guys up all night. Poker Guys after dark.
No, it is not.
So is Jeremy going to call or go for the 3-bet? I think those are his only reasonable options, and it's a call.
I feel like he's more likely to 3-bet because him and Stuart are good friends, and you want to beat the pants off your friends.
Not everyone wants to do that. You know, some people want happiness.
Oh,
their
I mean, only
friends.
if you have a piece.
Well, if you have a piece, of course you want.
Otherwise, it's
It is.
anti-railing all day. Pure jealousy.
Yeah, there's a lot of jealousy in poker. There's no question about it. Jeremy's got the only diamond here.
Joseph outflops the ace jacks, which is going to happen pretty frequently when they share those cards.
Stuart checks because this board is not favorable to him. And Joseph's probably just going to bet here, I would think.
Seems like the right decision to me. Deny a bunch of equity.
Super likely to have the best hand, and there's a million
He just
bad cards,
checks it
but
right
he
back.
checks. Watch out for the big cards. That's a good card.
That's a great card for Joseph.
Yeah.
He should feel pretty confident to bet now, or if Stuart decides to bet.
Stuart could have
easily
bet
call.
that turn, but
Jeremy can
decides-
bet also.
Yeah,
but-
either one, but they're just not trying. And now Joseph, certainly.
And this is just a terrible board for the ace jacks, and he's probably just going to win.
I have to believe he's going to win.
You can, if you squint really hard, you can put him on king queen, but it's probably not a good idea.
You could put him on like ace 6 suited.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much.
Well, it looks like
Whoa,
Jeremy's
Jeremy's a non-believer.
he's squinting. Non-believing did not work out this time. I imagine this is going check.
This would be pretty interesting if Joseph decides to go for super thin value here.
He'd be trying to get called by pretty much exactly what Jeremy has.
Yep. Doesn't once he starts talking though, he's usually not betting.
I check.
Ace high.
Sadness for Jeremy. You see that sadness? He's like, I shouldn't
Yeah.
have called.
That's $80 I could have used on, a piece
Denim.
of technology.
More denim.
Yeah, a piece of technology.
Yeah. Everything is a piece of technology to you these days.
At some point, denim was a piece of technology, and it remains.
Okay, good point.
And yes,
I see that
everything
you,
is a piece of technology, and everything is a term of art.
I see that you subscribe to Science Magazine.
Not just science. I watch Cosmos.
Oh, yeah?
It's great.
Good.
It's got space.
Is there a denim episode?
There's a, fiber episode. That's basically the same thing, right? Fiber.
There's not a fiber episode.
Of course there's a fiber on Mars with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Jeff Goldblum. It's informative and entertaining, much like this show.
That's what we're going for. I don't know if we're accomplishing it.
Jeremy with jacks, fish hooks.
3 J's.
There's no way to play this hand.
No, there's 3 ways to play it, and it's all wrong. Haven't you heard that one like a billion times?
I don't really hear it much anymore, I'm happy to say.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard that one as frequently.
What I usually hear about jacks is the I hate this hand.
Well, yeah,
Usually after people are winning with it, they talk about how much they hate it.
that or ace king. And it's usually when they win with it pre-flop by raising way too much and showing everybody.
I did play in a tournament recently where someone had jacks and they raised pre, and the flop was like ace king high, and they bet big on the flop and got called, and then they bet really big on the turn, like most of their stack, and they got moved in on it and showed jacks and talking about how much they hate the hand. I was thinking, well, I hate how you play the hand.
Hey, Jeremy has an open ender now.
Hey.
He checked back the flop. Probably going to start betting now.
I think it's against Zach specifically. Zach, who is donking out top pair, although I guess he didn't know that. He just knows Zach donked. He gave Zach every opportunity in the world to bet his queen and chose not to. So Jeremy thinks it's safe to come out, see if his shadow is there or not. Maybe we'll find out if there's 6 more weeks of winter.
Sure.
Is that a good nickname for Jeremy? The Groundhog?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I'm not seeing it.
I mean, I'm kind of loving that nickname. We'll see. We'll see if it sticks. It might
But
stick.
why?
There's
just there's just no reason for that
We
at
find
all.
out if winter is coming or not.
And that has to do with Jeremy?
Sure.
Well, why?
He tells us about the future man. Future man. That's a good name, too. I'm just nickname central over here. Loving it.
Is that your nickname? Nickname Central?
It is now. Because that's definitely sticking. All right, wheel with the suited ace. Some people fold this. Some people raise it.
Some people
Zach
limp
limps it. Wheel's going to raise it.
It's not crazy when you're deep.
No, I think it's fine. But it is one of those hands that usually you just lose $35.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
feels
mostly
like
you're
when
just
you're
gonna
opening
lose.
under the gun with it. It's like this is just a crappy ace, and there's not too many great situations.
You're really just trying to flop the nut flush or nut flush draw.
Well, now the nut flush or the nut flush draw would be great against Joe. Joe's thinking, but also showing off that to so watch. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. No watch sponsor. Joe
That's
with
a
3-bet.
raise.
Looks kind of small. No, it's not that small. 135.
Huh.
Wheel's going to call, and Zach is going to have to call also.
Zach really has to call this. Zach somehow has the best hand, which is maybe a little surprising based on the positions and the action, but good job, Zach.
Time to flop a 9.
Yeah. All clubs with a 9. Hey,
Whoa,
there's a 9.
He did flop a 9.
And an open-ender for Joe. Things get a little squiggly here. Gut shot for Wheel, but that would not
check,
be good
did
for
just
him.
check around? No. Wheel's thinking about it. There's also backdoor clubs for Joe and Wheel.
I mean, there's no chance that Joe is going to fold here. Big bet. Wow.
305 into
Wow.
415.
I don't see how Joe can fold anyway. His hand is just way too good. Not great when Zach bets, though. Zach has it a lot when he bets. He's only bet twice post-flop.
Zach might not be deep enough for Joe to make this call. If you think that Zach has 2 pair plus,
Yeah. You could move him in, I guess. I think the move is probably just move him in. It sucks, but we can't really fold, can
I
we?
think maybe you can based on Zach's stack. If you really think he's 2 pair plus only.
I wouldn't think that. I would think ace 10.
Okay. Ace 10, at least we have queens and jacks that are live. But
I think ace 10 may be like possibly the worst hand he has here, though.
yeah.
Or at least a good 10. And
he
Joe
has-
just gets out of the
And
way.
king 10 is a problem, by the way. Blocks are straight.
Joe does a good job reading the situation. He is up against a monster.
Yep.
Wow.
Zach's reputation or his sizing or
Yeah.
his stack or some combination thereof cost him a lot of money there.
I said it's a sum from column A, sum from column B kind
Yeah.
of situation.
Oh, well, until you run into Stewart.
I mean, Joe could have lost a lot of money in that hand and really didn't. That was pretty impressive.
He could have won a lot of money,
He could have won a lot of money in that
but
hand.
he's more likely to lose money than win money.
That's correct. Nicely said.
That's math right there. Just call me Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Talk
please.
about fiber in space. Go.
When you think about fiber, are you thinking about denim or are you thinking about space? The answer might surprise me.
Is this a clickbait video on
I
YouTube?
don't know. I don't know
what
what it
the
is.
hell is going on.
I don't know. One word came after the other, and I just kept talking, and that's what came out.
Okay.
You know how that goes. You just called Jeremy a groundhog, so I think.
I did not call him a groundhog. I said that could be his nickname. That's totally different.
I'm sorry. I was just.
Well, you said he had the attributes of the groundhog.
I did not say that at all.
Well, you were talking about how he would see a shadow and tell us if there was winter.
Yeah.
That's a groundhog attribute.
A groundhog cannot speak. So let's just back
Okay,
down.
so we would read the shadow and we would know if it was
We would
winter.
interpret as best we can what the
But
groundhog
Jeremy,
thinks
in
about
this
the shadow.
situation, is the groundhog.
Oh,
Am I-
yeah.
Am I wrong?
Oh, no, he absolutely is.
Okay.
He's the groundhog. And that's why we call
glad
him
we
the
cleared
groundhog.
it up.
Because he's just like a groundhog. He has all the attributes of a groundhog. That's why we call him that.
Okay.
No. Look, he's wearing a NASA shirt. How many groundhogs wear NASA shirts? Well, one, we're seeing him. But any others?
Oh, look at this Sam 3-bet. I
Yeah,
thought
we're just so busy making jokes, we're not even paying attention here.
Yeah, good job us.
Yeah, we suck. Okay, let's pay attention.
This might work.
It does work. You know, I mean, Ace Jack is the
And Sam
crappy
shows
hand.
He shows the world.
Ace Jack is a hand that doesn't love getting 3-bet. Now, this is
Thievery.
this is the kind of situation positionally where you can 4-bet Ace Jack, you can call with Ace Jack, or you can fold Ace Jack, depending on what you think about your
Mostly
opponent.
fold.
I think folding is fine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just folding all day. Like, hi.
It was him and Batiste talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was good.
Just saying the bald head doesn't help.
When did you finally give up?
I haven't said a single thing about hands in a while. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah,
Not
but
a
you just
single thing.
giggled because you were about to.
No. I was giggling about how I was going to say I hadn't said anything. So I just think that's important to point out.
Okay.
Boy, if someone only listens to this episode or just this and a few others, they're going to think there's a whole lot of weird stuff happening up in here, huh?
What do you mean think?
Wonka with trays.
He's going to raise to 25. Interesting how he changes his sizing up, and I'm not always sure what his reasoning is, but I think it has to do with how the table's playing in his opinion. I don't really know. Sometimes we see Wonka make it 40, sometimes we see him make it 25.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he definitely has reasons. It isn't random with Wonka. We know that. And there's a jack for Sam. Gut shot for Wheel.
Yeah, I think Wheel's obligated to continue here against a bet. He could raise or call.
If Sam had bet, it's a little tougher for Wheel with all the people behind him.
True, but since those people already decided to check, you could raise.
You could raise. Stewart is still a potential threat. Wonka usually doesn't have too
But
much.
Stewart, I mean,
Short
He's going
check.
to have 2 pair plus to continue if wheel raises mostly.
I don't know if that's true. He's seen wheel raise. He can have a good jack and call, but have to be a really good jack. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Everyone gets out of the way. Just sucks to be out of position, to the whole table there.
Yeah.
Both on that street where you still have 2 people who could act, Stuart could still be raising, or calling even, and your ace may not be good. And then, but then even if you call, you post flop or post on the turn and then on the river, you got you're out of position too. It's hard to get value. No. So
Cool.
I don't hate the fold. I like the fold.
With the ace 3?
Yep. I think if there's a diamond on there, we probably should call.
I think I prefer a raise to a fold.
Oh, a raise is fine too. I'm down with a raise. I dislike a call the most though.
It's just a super dry board, and Sam's going to take a shot there a lot when everybody checks. Well, Wonka just folds the queen jack.
Yeah, that's typical Wonka.
It said +1, but really it's 8-handed, so it's like he's +2.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty deep, and he's a good player. You'd expect him to play it.
I mean, he always plays tighter, more clear ranges.
Yeah.
So he has easier decisions post flop.
Jeremy with the same hand Wonka folded. He will not be folding.
Yeah, Jeremy's way looser.
Way too much of a groundhog. Is that
Wow.
one of the
That
Helmuth animals?
There's jackal, there's elephant, there's mouse, there's eagle, and there is the groundhog.
He had to revise the book once he met Jeremy.
Okay, so Jeremy does flop a queen, but bad news because Joe flopped trips.
Wheel flopped a very low under pair and is just going to protect his equity. Unfortunately for him, it's never working here. He bet 55 with 5s. Is that a sign?
It might just be Jeremy's going to call, and now Joe never going to fold. Only question is to raise or to call. I expect just a call here.
I think both options are pretty interesting, and they both have their potential pitfalls.
There's the raise, adds $100 to it.
More than 100, 200.
Oh, adds $200 to it. That's probably just going to end things.
He's charging the draws the maximum here, I suppose.
Yep, which is reasonable.
It's a bit of a scary spot, and
I mean,
he's gonna have the worst king if somebody has a king.
Right.
There are a lot of draws out there that Jeremy could be considering as part of Joe's range. That's why he's thinking this through. He also knows, though, that Joe's probably not going to stop betting if he's on a draw and is missing. It's going to be tough to keep calling, especially when Joe sizes it that big.
I think Jeremy's also thinking about, he's continuing with queens, he's continuing with big draws, and so... Sorry, he's continuing with kings and big draws, so he's got to have something he's folding. And so,
Yeah.
like, he's folding, like, jack 10 without clubs, maybe, like straight draws without clubs.
Yeah.
The straight draws, and he's folding the queens.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do. Yeah. You?
I don't know how many kings he really has there, though. I'm not sure.
I don't know. He could have a decent amount.
Play on the high school team.
Probably going to raise those at least some of the time on the flop, right? Anyway.
Some of the time.
But he's going to have some. He should have at least a few kings there.
You were that guy?
Hey, well,
He's going to have a lot of clubs.
Try to go back and get a college scholarship at 32?
Fold.
It was 4th grade. Right?
Limp coming. Wow, Jack 4 suited. All right, Zach's expanding the limping range to include hands that shouldn't be in it.
Ski Lift Joe also getting in on the action.
Yep. We know his range includes this hand
Oh, yeah.
from the last session he played, last couple sessions he played.
We know Stewie Younger's range includes this hand, pocket kings.
It'd be tough to find a person whose range does not include this hand. Somebody may exist who only plays aces, literally.
Or aces and other things, but never kings.
Yeah.
Perhaps there was
They have
some
an
sort
emotional
of-
reason.
an emotional reason or like a prophecy of some sort.
A couple years back, I was playing the marathon at the World Series of Poker, and a guy folded small to big with no action in front of him, showed ace queen, and said, "This is the hand I busted the main event with last year." So I guess anything's possible. Some people will just fold good hands.
People do it all the time.
This time, Stuart just gets to win with kings. He hasn't busted the main event with kings, so he can play it. I have busted the main event with kings, so maybe should I be one of the guys who folds kings?
I mean, I think it comes down to when you were little, like a child.
Yeah, that's when I busted the main event with
Yeah.
kings.
Oh, okay. Then you should probably not play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a childhood trauma.
Yeah. I was
If
8.
you 8. Yeah.
Doyle got me.
He always does. What do you have?
10 deuce of spades, obviously.
Yeah. That's when he won the main event,
Yeah, I
right?
got
That was the
I
hand
got
where he won.
But back then there was only 4 players, and I somehow won less money than the buy-in.
Yeah, that would be 0 money. Sam with the walking sticks.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Maybe part of what we can do during the session is name every hand that gets played, no matter what.
I don't think we should do that.
No?
I feel like that's bad YouTube.
Yeah, it might be. Well, I'm 1 for 1. I feel like that was a good one. The walking sticks. No
Do
one's
we
ever
have to?
said
Do we have
that.
to name them a thing that we have heard them called before? Can we make up new names?
I think we can do both. I think both is okay because a lot of hands that are played are going to be no one's ever named them before, and so we're gonna.
I'm pretty sure
breaking
somebody
ground
has
here.
named every hand.
See, it's that attitude that gets you nowhere in life, son. Nowhere.
Why would you say I'm nowhere in life? It's too much of a reality check.
Yeah. Get out of your mom's basement and stop making podcasts.
It's really comfortable, and she makes me dinner.
Now some percentage of the people are going to think you live in your mom's basement.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
They can think that if they want.
Maybe he does.
Maybe I do.
Maybe I didn't say you didn't. I just said what they're going to think. All right, wheel with the suited connector, calling, Sam's raise. Joseph could flat this. He's on the button.
You could raise it too.
Yep. But I don't know how to flat this deep. Looks like he's going for a raise.
I feel like we need. I like this.
Squeezing it
I want
out.
to. I want to see more merged 3-bets. You know, which and by that I mean hands that are typically calls.
Yeah.
Turned into 3-bets.
Depolarized.
Yeah. Wheel has a hand that he could continue with if he were deeper.
He's
I
out
don't
of
think
position.
I don't think he's deep enough to do
Yeah,
this.
I agree. And being out of position makes it way worse.
Right, but if he had 3K also,
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it's-
3K you can call.
yeah.
But he'd really like to be in position with a hand like that. Plays so much better.
If it's ever uneven, yeah.
So much more values
Goal is to accumulate
gotten.
both chips.
All right.
Joseph is the big winner.
Oh, Wheel's been
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I
Wow.
taking it. We haven't really
Well,
noticed how much he's lost.
Remember he bluffed Joe 3 streets.
Yeah, that was probably the big one.
He had the 2 5s hand where he put some money. He's just put money in a bunch and hasn't really ever won anything.
Yeah, that's one way to lose $1,000.
Yeah. He's throwing the party, as we like to say.
I'm not like that bad about it,
But it's early.
given the option for something that looks nice.
Wheel actually won a heads-up tournament for a fair amount of money this summer. I know that.
Oh yeah, in Pendleton, Oregon,
Would you ask a complete
where the Cowboys live.
He was very excited about it. He was telling me it was a load of fun. I remember thinking, it's always a load of fun when you win.
I don't think it was a heads-up tournament. I think it was a shootout tournament.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe you're right.
so he won 2 tables or something.
Maybe, yeah, probably 2, not 3. I don't know. That's not a very big shootout tournament if it's only 2 tables.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Wonka is probably 3-betting this hand, right? You could call or 3-bet, but
Yeah.
you got to play it.
Wonka usually will 3-bet the ace-5 suited specifically. There it is.
All right, so what's Ace-5 suited's name?
The Mad Hatter.
Okay,
Wonka with the Mad Hatter. We didn't even do Joseph. What's Joseph's 8-6 suited?
that's the Jeff Galooly.
Because you get 86th.
Yeah,
The lead
86
pipe.
from 86 from ever
I think
competing in figure skating again.
I kind of think 8-6 should be called "You're out of here" because you've been 86th. It's not bad.
I'm calling it the Jeff Galooly.
I like mine better. I'm sticking with mine. All right, so we have an argument
But why the Mad Hatter for Ace-5?
because it sort of looks like the ace is wearing a little hat.
I don't see it. I'm not
The 5, the top of the 5 is like a hat, sort of. It's ace-5 of spades, to be clear, is the Mad Hatter, not just any ace.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, 8-6, maybe 8-6 suited is "You're out of here," but 8-6 of hearts is the Jeff Galooly.
Because he was in love.
That makes sense, right?
Love drives you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do, and
I mean, I, Tanya was amazing. Let me just be honest. That movie was great,
it was good.
and everyone in it was good.
And Jeff Galooly was a somewhat sympathetic figure in it. Somewhat.
A little bit more than you would expect.
Yeah. But that could be a directorial decision more than real life. Anyway, that's all to say. Of course, 8-6 of hearts is the Jeff Galooly.
You're out of here. I think that is a pretty great nickname for just 8-6 in general. I'm gonna start using that in real life.
Okay.
No one's gonna understand it, though. I'm just gonna flip it over and be like, "You're out of here," and look at someone.
After you bust them from a big tournament and they're really sad.
Yeah, and I'll point to the door.
Get the hell out of my tournament.
Like, why would you say that to him? No, I was talking about my hand.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not a dick.
We've gone pretty far afield this episode. Welcome, new listeners and viewers.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Jeremy with the Queen 10 suited.
Fold.
And at that point, Sam said he was going to devote his life to being a star of that genre.
Fold.
What tournament was this?
Jacks for Joe. All right.
This is, I would say this is time to 3-bet.
I was gonna say, 'cause that was
We don't want to see this hand 3 ways if we can avoid it, and we will not. Unless Sam has got a real hand, of course.
Kind of got a real hand.
I expect Sam's usually folding here. Jeremy opened +2. There's no calling. It's really 4-bet or fold. I think Jeremy's probably going to find a call here. They're deep. He's in position. He's suited.
He's got the sporty spice. So you got to call with the sporty spice.
What does that mean? Oh, that's the name of the
That's
hand?
the queen 10 of
The
clubs.
sporty. Yeah, because queen for female, and she goes to clubs.
Yeah.
It's got multiple clubs in there. And there's clubs.
2 of them.
Yep.
Joe's not loving that flop.
Nope, the fish hooks are not loving it. It's an easy one, of course. The
He's going to continue anyway. That's always a weird spot when an ace
Yep.
flops and you're the aggressor and you have like jacks, queens, or kings. It's always tough to know what's the best course of action.
I don't hate the bet here with jacks for a few reasons. One is we might even get value out of a few worse hands.
I mean,
Like
that's
some
not
pocket-
that's not a great reason.
No,
right
no,
there.
no, but some pocket pairs and some clubs and things. Jeremy's
There he
gonna
goes.
call.
Gets a little
Also,
die.
like if we having like jacks and queens coming are really bad for us when we check it back. You know, like,
Jacks are pretty good.
Sorry, kings and queens.
Well, that's a bad card.
Jeremy once again makes the club flush.
And Joe's got the
Jack of clubs.
jack of clubs in his hand.
So Joe's not going to be just folding on this usually.
It depends on sizing, I suppose.
So Jeremy's thinking, how do I get value out of ace king? Right? That should be what he's thinking. How do I size it so ace king hangs around?
I think you can bet 300 and ace king's going to have to call.
I think 300 is the right number. Just a nice easy half pot bet.
17,000. The first hand after
That's
that break, I'm gonna
315.
315.
Close, pretty close.
Good enough. Now Joe's in a weird spot where
You could be drawing dead, which
he
he
could
is.
be drawing dead. Once in a while, Jeremy could have been floating the flop with like 2 6s or something like that.
It also
and be taking a shot.
It also sucks you're never really getting action if you hit a club and are ahead on the river.
Correct. And
There
that
is a club.
Wow. Now Joe's probably gonna have to pay off. He's got the what?
I don't know if Jeremy's
going
going to bet. I don't think Jeremy's going to bet.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think you can bet.
This is the one hand he could get value from. Maybe the 10 of clubs. No, he's got the 10 of clubs in his hand. The 9 of clubs.
Yeah, you
2
can't
nines
bet.
with the 9 of clubs. It's tough.
You can't bet here.
He checks.
He's sad that he's not getting his value, but I think it's the right play. I don't think Jeremy was going to get paid no matter what happened there, unless a jack hit the river. That was the only way he's going to get paid, I think.
If Jeremy bets small on the river, he can get paid from the jack of clubs.
What I'm saying is he was never going to make the decision to bet a club river,
I see what you mean.
unless it was the king or ace of clubs, probably.
Right, yeah. The king of clubs, he might bet.
Yeah.
I think he bets the king of clubs. And he
But-
probably bets the ace of clubs.
Yeah, but I think it kind of has to be a jack for him to actually decide to bet and get paid all of the time.
Sure. Well, Joe's definitely going to call then.
Yeah.
Joe might raise. Well, not raise. Joe might lead. And then I don't know when he gets raised, probably fold. Maybe. I don't even know anymore. It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Jeremy won the pot. It's Groundhog Day.
You know, there's been like lots of folks who've put time into trying to figure out how long was Bill Murray really like. Did he live Groundhog Day for? How many days was it? You know, and all that. And I think the screenwriter said it was 10,000 years,
Wow.
which is why he knew everything about everybody.
And was a great ice sculptor.
He could play the piano. 10,000 years is a really long time to live that one day.
Samantha, our new intern, is telling me this is the last hand.
Okay, Joe jacks again.
Wow. And he's limping him.
Belichick look.
Hey,
Huh.
Samantha hasn't messed up this whole episode, I think.
Samantha, welcome to the team.
If we found one?
Finally an intern who doesn't absolutely, just do terrible things all the time. So good job, Samantha.
You know, I was asked at the World Series at least twice if we actually have interns that
Really?
we're continuously firing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No one asked me about that. The answer is yes, we do.
Sam's
And
going
we
to
are.
bet his 7, by the way.
Sure.
Zach's going to raise his. Now Joe's in a weird spot.
Really weird.
Joe did see the last time Zach raised post-flop, he had
Yeah.
a hand that lost to 7s
Right.
on that board.
That really helps, I think.
I think he even showed the 3s. So, yeah, that does help makes a call with Jacks a bit easier. And now Zach's kind of in no man's land.
Yep. And now this is where Joe gets to see that Zach gives up. And that's like, oh, okay, great. So you have diamonds or you have a 7.
You
rarely
should
have a
probably
queen.
bet if you're Joe here to deny equity.
I think so.
Get called by a 7 sometimes.
And, charge the diamonds, right?
He bets pretty big, and I think that's what's going to get Zach to fold here.
Mhm. And that's going to get us to fold this episode.
He shows the Jacks, and we're done with this episode.
All right.
So we'll see you guys next week for some more poker time and then continuation of this this session. Thanks, Samantha, for making me say that.